Hello. I can no longer go without making a video. It's been a long time. And I've got a lot of things going on. I'm working on a home renovation. I'm driving 4 dedicated 12-hour shifts a week. I'm working on my health, working on quitting smoking. I'm still smoking. But I can't wait around and not make a video anymore because of two things that are happening here. Alright, first of all, you drivers are out there and you're bitching and moaning about how this Uber CEO presentation and they're not going to raise rates for drivers, blah, 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 yada, 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 yada. Okay, I'm going to address that in this video. But more importantly right now is I'm going to address what is happening in the city of Seattle. Okay? City of Seattle is wanting to regulate Uber and Lyft rates. Well, good for them. Listen up, people. I've been in this business 23 years. My dad's been in this business for 25 years. My best friend has been in this business for 25 years. My other best friend has been in this business for 18 years, and he runs and manages 7 cars that he leases out to 11 different drivers. History repeats itself. We have been there and done this. It is not a new concept for it used to be a leasing company. We would pay a lease to use the label, pay for services, for reservations, and dispatch, advertising, the brand, yada, yada. And we would either lease cars from that company that was actually a leasing company, which were the cab companies, or private owner operators that ran a string of cars under that label. They've always, used the practice when they hear drivers saying they're making more money, they go out and recruit more drivers so that they can lease more cars. Now, here you guys are complaining about Uber not raising rates to pay drivers better, yet you're voting against the city of Seattle to regulate the rates. Okay, the rates need to be regulated. Okay, in 2012, when Uber came to my market, Phoenix, what they did was they got rid of the regulation. And that is how they were able to continue operating legally here in Phoenix. Because when they came in, they were illegal as could be. The drivers weren't properly insured. The drivers did not have the proper license on the back of their vehicles. They weren't inspected and approved by the Department of Weights and Measures. Okay, Uber came to town and got in bed with our governor and said, oh, we're a tech company and we're providing jobs. We're not a transportation company, we're a tech company. So that's why we're off the hook for insurance. Because drivers are paying anywhere from $350 a month to $500 a month for $100,000, $300,000, and some drivers carried as much as $1 million liability. And the Uber drivers were running out there with $15.30. And that was a problem. And undercutting our rates was a problem. And they killed all our business. Okay? And our salaries got cut by 1/3 to 3/4. okay? And they keep us making just enough, like we're barely making after expenses. Um, you know, after expenses, car maintenance, car payments, blah 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 blah. You know, you're not making much more than minimum wage, and you got double taxes plus some, as opposed to an employee. Um, so man, you guys have been conned by big corpa interfering for your job so that you would vote against regulating. Okay? Regulation is going to protect the driver. These people, I've been in the Phoenix market for 23 years. Okay? It's the exact same market. That was the taxi market. It just has grown because the city has grown about 8 times the way it, 8 times the size of what it is in 25 years. It's the same demographic of customer. It's the same people taking Uber and Lyft. Okay, they're trained that this is public transportation in the guise of private transportation. Um, they're gonna keep they're going to keep calling for rides. Where do you think these people, the millennials, for instance, and college students, how do you think they were getting home from the same bar districts, 10 years ago? The same college was here. The same party spots are here. Um, they were hopping in cabs off the street or calling the company that ruled, which were the line cabs discount. Okay, it's the same demographic. It's the same people. They're gonna pay for the rides. What Uber has done is lowered the standards on the fare and trained people that drivers aren't. This is what drivers are worth and nothing more. And we are worth more because your life is in my hands when you're in my car and my hands are on the wheel. Okay? And you're telling me I don't deserve to get paid and I don't deserve to get tipped and I don't deserve to have my local government protect my wages? Let me tell you something else. The surge needs to go away. The surge needs to go away and the rates need to be increased by about 2.4, or to the equivalent of what about a 2.4 would be on a surge, and stay consistent at that rate, okay? Because first of all, they're robbing drivers by it not being a level playing field. Okay? I can't help it if I end up in Surprise at 1:30 in the morning when the shit's hitting the fan in Old Town Scottsdale, which is 45 minutes away. Well, they need drivers in Surprise also. Just because there are 5 customers in Surprise and 80 customers in Old Town doesn't mean those 5 customers need a ride any less. Okay? If there's gonna be any type of surge, it should go the opposite way. The surge should be extended to locations that are further away from the city limits where the vehicles are more concentrated. Okay? My God, you guys, you need to vote yes on this regulation. Okay, because the surges are what is robbing the customer and hurting the customer and upsetting and frustrating the customer. Okay, consistent rates protect everyone and drivers get what they are worth. You know what? Yeah, you're making just enough to get by. It's a good living. You're doing better than Walmart employees even after expenses. I know what you're making out there in Seattle, okay? And I'm making the same thing here in Phoenix. And any way you slice it, $220 is my average for a 12-hour shift. Sometimes I can cut out with my uh, you know, goal at which is 200 minimum 200 to book $200 a night at 9 or 10 hours, or I can work the whole 12-hour shift and make a little more. Okay, so I average about 220 a night, unless there's, an event in town where the tourists are coming in. I made $1,400 the week of PGA, working my 4 shifts. And like now that the season is over and all the tourist events are done for the season, I'm making my 800 in my 4 12-hour dedicated shifts. I work 4 p.m. to 4 a.m., give or take, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night. It's the same market that it always was. It's the same customer demographics that there always were in the same places. The only difference is we can pick up at the airport. Uber and Lyft have pretty much replaced 2 cab contracts. Lyft is allowed to have 60 cars on the premises, which is the old cab contracts were 60 cars for 3 different companies. Now they've got the 3 cab companies, which are all connected anyway, that are left that are willing to take the airport contract because it costs a chunk of change. Yeah, the cab company pays for the airport contract, and Uber and Lyft probably do too. So those 3 companies that are all connected, yeah, their contract is probably for 60 cars. Lyft has a 60 car limit, which tells you right there their contract is for 60 cars. If there's more than 60 cars in the queue, they're going to kick you out. They're going to tell you need to leave the queue or risk facing fines. And I've seen as many as 111 or 117 cabs. Yeah, they're cabs. They're cabs. With the Uber label on their windshield, logged in the queue, which tells me that Uber's contract is for 120 cabs. And we can sit at the airport, and the airport has been accommodating to us, and so is the city of Scottsdale. The police are more accommodating to Uber and Lyft drivers than they ever were to the taxis. And unfortunately, I crossed paths with a Scottsdale cop who said, man, we're having such a problem with Uber and Lyft drivers. They just don't think they have to obey traffic laws. So, oh my God, if you drive in Phoenix, you know what a cluster, you know what it is in Old Town Scottsdale when it's surging. Sometimes it's not even worth being down there. I know how to sneak in and out of there and get my passengers outside, the on the edge of it to pick them up and scoop them up and get out of there. And I do it every time, and I blow them away. Because I've been doing this so long. Yeah, anyway, you guys really, you're making a mistake. Okay, we need local government to regulate Uber and Lyft rates because, it, every driver deserves to get the same mileage rate no matter what area of the city they're driving in at what time. And the customers need to be able to rely on a consistent rate. The college girl needs to know that it's going to cost her $27 to get home from the bar at 2 in the morning. Not have to worry that if she wants to go home at 2:10, it's going to cost her $150. Otherwise she's going to have to wait until 3:45 when the surge is gone to get her $27 rate. Are you kidding me? Would you want that to happen to your daughter? Really? You know? And the people need to get back to having a little bit more respect for the worth of a driver. And Uber has taken this away from us. As far as Lyft goes, Lyft is more, Lyft just happened to, be here when Uber, cleared the path. And I just am shocked. You guys have really, really gotten conned by Big Corpa. No, we need regulation. God, please, you drivers out in Seattle, you need to vote in favor of regulation. Okay, I'm telling you this from the bottom of my heart, soul, my love for this business, and reality. We've been there, done this. History repeats itself. Don't you're the only way you're gonna get what everybody wants that's right is to allow the city of Seattle to do this, to regulate the rates now, and then we got a precedent set, okay, and other cities can do the same, okay, and maybe Phoenix can get back to being regulated as well. Again, it protects the driver and it protects the public. Thanks for listening. I hope you guys are taking me seriously.